Yeah, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, today I just want to have just a little discussion. And this is my CIVIVI collection. My CIVIVI collection of fun knives. This is the fun knives bunch. And all these are all Plunge-Locks, and these are the new ones. The Super Locks. The Schneck's Super Locks. These are all Plunge-Locks. And when I got into these, I just want to talk about these for a minute. When I got into these was during a transition period when Cold Steel was transitioning from being Cold Steel owned by Cold Steel, the original company, transitioning into the GSM company, and all over everywhere, and nobody knew what was going to happen, and nobody knew, if they were going to, continue to have the same quality or continue to make the same models that everybody liked and loved. But so I start wondering, what's my knife future going to be like? Am I going to continue to do just Cold Steels, or should I start transitioning to other things? And I decided to start trying out other things. And one of the first things I started to try out was the Malibu by ProTech. It's a little plunge lock. The Malibu. These had 20 CV blades, aluminum handles. Actually really love the ProTech craftsmanship. ProTech craftsmanship is awesome. Fit and finish is perfect on it. Got this one. And then I decided I wanted one that was more tactical. And so I got an all black one. And these were quite expensive and hard to get. I was overjoyed when I got them and stuff like that, and I thought they were, like the bee's knees. Because I wanted to start carrying, like knives that, they're a little bit smaller, knives I can use to carry to work and stuff like that. And instead of carrying because I'd always carried 4-inch, 5-inch, 5.5-inch blade knives, and I didn't really have any 3.5-inch or 3-inch blade knives. All my knives were self-defense folders. And so I wanted to have some work folders, because I noticed that in my job where I work, people would freak out a little bit if they if you pull out a Recon or something, Recon 1 or something, or a Tau War, their eyes would open up big and stuff like that. So I decided that wasn't too cool. And so me myself, I'm not trying to cause any problems. I'd like to let things flow easily and stuff like that without any without any problems at work. I decided to go downsize myself for my work folders. I still have my triad folders for motorcycling and things like that, things I did for things I was doing when I was off work. I'd like to carry those, but during work I wanted to carry something smaller. And so I first went to those, the Malibus, and then I decided, those are hella expensive. And then I saw these come out. And I saw this one come out, the Elementum. Whereas a push button, you push the button. It was sort of like a plunge lock, but it really wasn't a plunge lock. It really was like a liner lock. But you push. That was operated by a button or a plunger, and you had to use wrist action in order to open it and close it. Or I'm sure you could open it like this, and then push the button and close it. But this one locked closed, so you couldn't open it. You couldn't open it if it was closed. You had to push the button, and then it would unlock. Very smooth, though. Very smooth. And these were quite popular. The Elementum. So I knew CIVIVI made quality things. And then when I started seeing these come on the market, I tried it out. And this was the first one I tried out. I saw the purple scales. That was the first one, the Cogent. And I carried the mess out of this knife. I absolutely love this knife. And still looks good. Doesn't have really hardly any wear marks on it. Still looks good. Absolutely love it. I can't even remember the kind of steel it was. And then I saw the Damascus one come out. I tried to get the Damascus one with the micarta scales. By the way, this one was my first purple knife. And this was my first one with the micarta scales, I believe. And then I saw the natural JG10. And this is my first natural JG10 knife. I carried all these. I carried all these knives. They're the ones I was carrying for about 2 years. About 2 years I was carrying these knives. This one right here. This is the group that I got first, and the group I got second was this group, and this one is a Conspirator, and this was actually my favorite one of them all. This was a Damascus one that I customized by polishing the Damascus blade. And as you can see, it doesn't have any pocket clips on it, so y'all know it's a jacket coat pocket, pocket knife for me. Still get used today. This one still, it's in my. I always keep this one I just leave it in my leather jacket pocket, my leather bomber. It just stays in the pocket. Absolutely love this knife. This one has skiff bearings in it. Beautiful knife. Micarta scales, and the Damascus blade is a 9CR Damascus, if I remember right. And here's the other one I had, because I always got to get two. And this was a Nitro-V one, if I remember right. Absolutely love it. This one's never been carried. This one was the one that got carried. And then these came out, the Chevalier. This is the one with the micarta scales. And then I got this one, the one with the plain edge, and this is the one I actually carried. They're all great knives. They're all great knives. And I even had a couple of these Altuses, and I gave one to Lucky's wife. Lucky and his wife, I gave them a Christmas present. I gave them both and I gave Lucky a Kaiser bag lighter, and his wife the Altus. Not past Christmas, but the Christmas before. And this one right here is my other Altus. I never got another one because it's a little bit too small for me, but I think it's a really cool little knife though. This is a great little letter opener. I wouldn't use this one for self-defense because if this blade lock was to give out, this knife is going to cut you. But, it's, for a little tiny knife like this, it's cool as a letter opener or, a utility knife. For those roles, it works very well. It's 9CR with a micarta handle scales. And I really like these little CIVIVIs. As you can see, you really can tell I really like the Plunge-Lock ones. I think that they're excellent knives. I think, I highly recommend them. And they're all budget friendly. They're all, like inexpensive knives. They're like in between the $50 and the $100 range. That, it's like the cheapest budget knives are in between, I don't know, 0 and 50. And then the second group to me is like 50 to 100. And then you start to go into the mid-range knives where you get into like 100 to 50, 100 to 150, and then you get the high mid-range ones, which to me is like 150 to 200. And then expensive knives are 200 and above. That's what I sort of think of them. The expensive factory knives are like 200 to like about, I don't know, I would say maybe $500, for factory knives. I'm not talking about the knives that are made totally by hand. I'm talking about the knives that are production knives and companies that are maybe that do sort of do a lot of work by hand, like Demco knives when you get a 8020S or 8020.5 or 8020. I think those are all, unless they say that they're not machine ground. Most of those are machine ground blades, and the parts are made in different places and stuff like that, and they're all put together here in the United States, except for the ones that are made in Taiwan. But those knives, those, I would consider those production. You know, not a big production though, but you know, they are small production. But to me, they're still production knives. They're not like the handmade models that Demco charges you like $1,000 for or something like that. But anyway, these knives right here, I really like. I really like this new Super Lock. The new Super Lock from CIVIVI. And to me, CIVIVI is the first one that picked up on the plunge locks for the manufacturers overseas and stuff like that. Because, you know, ProTech had been doing it for a while, you know, especially with their automatics, you know, using the same lock type. But, you know, they were like the first ones that I noticed was ProTech, you know, making them this size of knife that's good for a work knife, good for a work utility knife. And then CIVIVI, I think, picked up on that, and they mastered this size. I mean, this size of knife, to me, you know, like I'm gonna grab one of these. Maybe I should grab the other one because it's got a shiny blade, right? Okay, but I'm gonna just compare the size of these, like the Cogent. Cogent was the original one, right? And that's what I'm trying to talk about right there. This costs, you know, over $200. I think I paid just under $200 for this one. And I think it was like $230 or something like this, $230 for this one. But these were like, when I bought this was like $60. And actually this feels better in hand than this does. I mean, these are really cool because they're ProTechs. And they're like, you know, super high quality. This is 20 CV steel. And ProTech by itself, you know, the manufacturer ProTech, the California-based knife maker, is just a legend in itself. You know, ProTech, the godfather, you know, the knives that they've been making for years, they're just legends. So to me, I think of these now as just like straight up collectors. You know, and I'm happy to have them, you know, because I don't have a lot of ProTech knives. I only have 3, I think. I have this one and the California legal one, the automatic. But these knives right here are perfect for work knives. You know, they're not that expensive. They're the perfect size. For me, they're, you know, not perfect size, but I think they're, you know, they're easy to carry. They got slicey blades, and they're not too intimidating where they, you know, if somebody sees you using it somewhere, they're not going to freak out. At least I don't think they would freak out. Who knows, though, you know, who knows what the sheeple will do. And these are the same way. Because to me, this doesn't look like a combat knife. This looks like a utility knife. It looks like a nice looking utility knife, but it still looks like a utility knife. It looks like it's meant to do like food prep. You know, it's got a really nice thin blade. You know, it's sort of like the bug out. You know, the bug out to me is in the same class. The bug out, the Hogue Deca, they're all like in the same class to me. But the one thing that this one has over the others is just a little bit bigger, and I like the way it feels in hand, and the handle's not flexy. This handle's really nice and strong, but this one weighs more. This is like about 4.3 ounces, I think, whereas like lots of these other knives are under 3 ounces. I mean, under 4 ounces, rather. But for somebody like me who's used to carrying, you know, like knives that weigh 7, you know, 6, 7, you know, 5, I should say 5, 6, 7, 8 ounces, sometimes 9 ounce knives, pocket knives, this to me feels featherweight. And they're a lot of fun too. You know, but this is fun too, though. These are fun too. And this one has skid bearings in it. I can't move my wrist that fast with, you know, with this type of lock mechanism with the plunge lock as fast as I can with the Super Lock. The Super Lock, you know, operates a lot like the Demco Shark Lock. And so, like, once you get the hang of it, it's really easy to use. But keep the butt end away from the palm of your hand, though. You don't want to get bit. But I absolutely love these. And I think CIVIVI, you know, I think they hit a home run when they came out with this one. They produced it from, you know, for snacks or whatever. And these were home runs too, you know. So CIVIVI they're on the ball. They're on the ball. They're on the ball. You know, I can't lie. You know, I gotta give it to CIVIVI. They're doing a good job. What do y'all think? I think they're doing a good job. And the action on these is like really nice too, on all of these. All of these have, you know, really nice action. But to me, these are like affordable Pro-Techs. And they're not cheap junk knives. They're very well made knives. They're, you know, the quality level on them is really good. But these are the ones that started for me, the Pro-Techs. And this is the one that let me know that CIVIVI can make a good knife. Was when I got these. Because before I got these, you know, all the knives I had purchased from China were basically junk. And CIVIVI was like the first Chinese knife maker that I tried out that was making really good pocket knives. You know, really good quality pocket knives. And I know there's a lot of drama going on with China right now, you know, between China and the United States, you know, and everything. I hope everything's going to be okay, though. In Taiwan and everything. I hope everything works out fine, but you know, I can't lie. I really do like these CIVIVIs. And I haven't been showing a lot of the Chinese knives lately because of that. I know a lot of my other favorite knife channels are still doing it, but I decided to slow down on it. Since I haven't purchased it. These are the only ones I've purchased in a long time. But I really do love these knives. These are all some really good knives. I would highly recommend them. The CIVIVIs. Peace out. Stiletto.